I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Be water, my friend.
Hello everyone, Tao Trader here. So let's get right into it. This is the 4-step technique that I use for my trading. So as we can see, the 4 steps are liquidity, imbalance, rejection, confirmation. So let's go over these. So as we can see here, this has been a bullish price structure, 3.4R, going for the top from the imbalance, broken liquidity, rejected the imbalance, confirmation candles, enter here, stops below the imbalance, profits at the high. So as we can see, we'd be looking for the same thing here. Price has broken the high, broken structure to the upside, given us some liquidity here, continued up. So this would have been our imbalance. But as we see, prices came straight through the imbalance, inverted, and now use this to go bearish. So now we would wait for a market structure shift, or that would then become a bearish break of structure. So once this happens, we would be looking for price to form an imbalance just before the break of structure. Then we're looking for liquidity to be made here. So price continues down, comes up, puts in a lower high, with this being bearish price action, puts in a lower high, puts in a lower low slightly, still a lower low. So now what we are looking for price to do is break this buy side liquidity and enter into an imbalance in the market. Once price does this and enters, we are then looking for a rejection from this area, which is here. I can go a bit more in depth into the patterns, but basically it would be on a lower time frame, and this right here will have some kind of pattern like this. So once we see that on the lower time frames, as you can see now we're on the 22 minutes, but that would be in the 5-minute time frame maybe. Once we see this, we are selling on this confirmation candle, which would be here. So then we would sell there. Stops would go, if price hasn't mitigated this whole imbalance, what I would do is put my stop to either just above the high, or to be safe, around the middle of the imbalance. I know this imbalance should be here, but it's a lower time frame imbalance, so it's around here. So I'll put my stop around the middle of the imbalance, and I'd be aiming for this low here. As we can see, that's a 5R, that's a big trade. So once that happens, that's our 4-step happened there. We've got the break of structure. This isn't part of the 4 steps, but this is just to get our bias and our confirmation on our direction. So once we get the break of structure, then we start looking for the 4 steps, which would be the imbalance, the liquidity. Once they're both broken, we're looking for a rejection, which again is the pattern I've just showed you, something along these lines. Doesn't have to be perfect like that. This might be lower, they might be equal, but as long as we get some kind of pattern like this and then a move away, then once that candle's closed, we'll place the sell, aiming for these lows here. So there we go. That's a 6R trade, and even if we put it that's a 10R trade if we put it at the top. So then what we're looking for is this area to be broken. If you were going to be risky, you could see this double top here and wait for that to be broken. And if there's an imbalance, which I can see there is right above that, wait for that to be entered. Boom. Then we've got enters into there, gives us a confirmation, sell again, middle of the imbalance, back down to here, there's another 3R. So then we get a continuation, a break of structure. So then we're looking for an imbalance, liquidity, price comes up on the lower time frame. This candle will have formed a confirmation, but even if you want to be safe, wait for the close of that candle, because this whole imbalance here has been almost mitigated. I would put my stop maybe just above that candle high there. That was the candle of the imbalance, aiming for this low here. You know, maybe a trader who's scared would have pulled out here, but once I've set my trades, I've set them. It's either hits a stop loss or hits a take profit. So there's another 2.7. But if you entered this on a lower time frame, I can more than imagine the confirmation would be around here, giving you a big R, you know, a 5R again. And then we look for this, the break of structure. We've got the liquidity formed here. So then above this, we're looking for some kind of imbalance, which is what we've got here. Price comes up, forms a pattern, as you can see, up, down, up again, confirmation. So then what we do, this candle here, the confirmation, stops above the high, aiming for the low of that move, which was here. There's another 4R. So then exactly the same thing again. Price has broken structure again to the downside. So right now we can't see this. We're here. We don't know what's happening. So we've broken. Price has given us this here, buy side liquidity. So there's our liquidity form. So now we look for above that an imbalance. Imbalance here. We see that the imbalance gets taken right through, and there's another imbalance just above it which gets tapped into. So what you might be thinking is, at this moment in time, prices came here up, it gave us a nice rejection, a nice confirmation. So, you know, you'd put a sell on here. Stops above that, and you'd be aiming for this low here. Unfortunately, that stops us out there. So what we've got there is a 1% taken out, but then this trade you've got 4.2%, 5.6%, 3.8%, 10.4%, and 3.4%. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 trades hit the take profit, the 6th trade hit the stop loss. But all that means is now that you know that we've gone in the other direction, price is broken through, so you can continue looking for buys. Nothing's been shown here. There's a imbalance here below the sell side liquidity that is here. So then what you could do is maybe wait. This is where price is right now. That's came into there. You got your confirmation. So right now you could have a trade on. That would be either looking for this high here, or if you wanted to try and get to this high, you'd be brave, but it's a big trade. And let's see how this week forms. I personally didn't take this trade because this right here was a huge weekly level. We broke that, So personally, my trades here, once we had this shift in structure, what I did, I noticed these levels here of liquidity being made. So then I looked for the imbalance above that. And this was my trade, or one of my trades from last week. Aiming for that low, a 3R. So yeah, there you go. There's the 4-step technique. Simple as that. And what you're seeing happen here is something I will explain in a later video. But yeah, I hope you all can understand that. And any questions, just in the comments, ask me below. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.